Good afternoon once again, and I'm Anurag Aggarwal. I work with Tanla Platforms for those of you who weren't there yesterday. So to say, I've been now coined a blockchain expert apparently after the Q&A yesterday. I still claim I'm not. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I've seen some wonderful presentations out here today. I'm not here to bore you with my journey. And I don't also want to be preaching to the choir out here. I feel we have some wonderful professionals out here. And I feel that those who are there in ROCCO 100, that's great. But it's equally great those who are not part of this list, but have their own wonderful journeys and own wonderful lessons to share. So I'm going to keep it quick and snappy about what I have learned in my journey and what are some of the key takeaways, which I hope somewhere resonate with you as well. So I don't know how many of you can read this, but this is how a WhatsApp conversation changed my life. So I actually was working in the steel industry when I started my career. I was with a company called Tata Steel. And after spending about 5 years over there and working in a totally domestic and a fairly rural environment, because I used to be selling barbed wire, which is used for fencing of farms. So, I was more bothered about cows and buffaloes than worried about grey roots at that point of time. And there was a WhatsApp conversation where I'm sure you can't read it much, but we had a bunch of frustrated Tata Steel employees who made a group saying that we need to get out of here fast. And one of them said to the other that, hey, listen, there's this role in Tata Communications, and it seems pretty fascinating, but these people are taking forever. Ben, I think that's feedback for you. You need to give it back to HR. But one person said it to the other, and the other one said, no, you know what, leave it. I think, if it's taking time, I'll leave it. I actually jumped onto it and I said, why not? I'll give it a shot. Who knows? And at that point of time, I think the only thing which is very interesting for me is that this role is apparently giving me a chance to visit Canada. So that's what actually made me apply. The rest is history that I just went on and on. I asked some dumb questions in my first interview, which was around, doesn't voice and SMS travel on the same channel? And in spite of all these faux pas through the sessions, I did manage to make it to where I am. So this is the world I got pulled into. It was a new industry. I was in steel and I went into telecom, a very different geography. I'd never traveled west of Africa in my life. So this was the first time I was going as far as Canada, a different time zone and a very, very different culture. I was in an absolutely different culture of service versus manufacturing, So I've seen out here, there are so many differences which are so evident. And one doesn't realize it who's been only in the service industry, but when you come from manufacturing, trust me, there's a world of a difference. I used to laugh at people who used to say I have to get on a call, because in Tata Steel, everything was face to face. So, it was again, I was in a different virtual culture of getting used to things. And finally, it was a different remit from being a very India-focused role to taking up something which is global in nature. And I was really, I felt that, I'm really out of depth out here, and let's see how things will go. So how were my first 6 wonderful months in this new organization and this new world? I successfully puked on my VP shoes in my very first meeting with him. And thank God for the American culture that he laughed it off. Had it been in India, I would have been sacked, I think, even before I would have got home. A decimal error in the price sheet, we spoke about this yesterday. A decimal error in a price sheet cost my company $200,000, because at that time I was the only odd guy sitting with a laptop. Even I'm taking up a conference in Dubai, and after that conference, I'm sending out price sheets to aggregators around the world. And I suddenly thought, why am I getting so much traffic towards Dubai? And then that's when I realized that okay, that small decimal error made it all happen. I was based in Montreal. Numerous social faux pas right through my first 6 months over there. I was literally like this awkward brown guy who's just trying to fit in. And I know, by the end of it, I thought I won't be able to survive. I was literally moving from one sector to a different one. So I was extremely anxious that will I really be able to cut it through? So that anxiety was always burning at the back of my mind. And lastly, I was pretty much written off by my company that this chap will not survive the year. And I pretty much believed it, that I think I'll beat them. I think it'll be 6 months and I'll be out from here. So that's how my first 6 months were. To fast forward to where we are today, incidentally, I was the last man standing in my company's CPaaS vertical. Over a period of time, we saw, I mean, first it was a manager. He moved out in 2 months to Bix. And then we had numerous changes and pretty much the entire team which had hired me. By the time I was leaving, I was the last man standing. So I was quite surprised at myself. It was quite a progression. I joined in as a senior manager to leaving as an AVP within the organization. I felt that, okay, that's no mean feat for me in this couple of years. From having a team of 0 to having a team globally of 25 people and handling a business from scratch to a business which touched $100 million. That was something which I never expected I'll have in my journey. I made it to, some of you might know about the Mobile Ecosystem Forum. It's one of the only trade bodies within the CPaaS space which is extremely active. I would have never imagined that I can actually make it to the board of such a prestigious organization. And lastly, standing before you humbly, being in the ROCCO Top 25. So it's been a wonderful journey so far. What I just want to talk about a couple of minutes is what really got me where I am today. I strongly believe these are a few tenets which have kept me going. Firstly, it's curiosity. I just feel that one needs to stay humble, stay foolish. Somebody said that, be humble, but don't be naive. I so resonate with that yes, don't let somebody steamroll you, but it's extremely important to stay humble right through your entire journey, wherever and whatever position you are in. Have patience. Things do work out in the end. One that anxiety which is there, that will things eventually turn out the way we want, that silver lining at the end of the cloud, will there be some light at the end of the tunnel, will something happen? Yes, things do happen, miracles do happen. Have that confidence that yes, things can work out, nothing is impossible. Network, the right team, the right supporters, and the right mentors make all the difference. I feel so happy and grateful that in this very room, I have so many people who've been wonderful supporters through my journey. I see Fabio over there. There's Joanna. There's David. There's Kevin. There is also Ben. There's Brian out there. There is Sarah. There are so many people who've been part of my journey over the past so many years. And there's so much that I've learned from each and every one of you. So I really feel that having the right network got me where I am. And lastly, of course, there is luck. Nobody can deny that. If I wasn't in that WhatsApp chat, if I would have ignored that message, I don't think I would have been here where I am today. So lastly, what is it that my journey has taught me? I think first and foremost, stay sharp. There are always opportunities knocking on your door. They could be literally at the corner, at the bend. And if you blink, you might just miss it. So stay sharp, stay alert. You might just find the next opportunity next to you, which you've been missing out on. This is very important, and I really live by it because I feel I'm doing it even today. Yesterday I did it with blockchain, actually. Fake it till you make it. This thought actually again resonates with me tremendously. Fake it till you make it. That I feel no one out here is perfect. A lot of us have come from very, very diverse industries. We've had people who applied for financial analyst roles and became routing analysts. We've had people from diverse fields all across the globe, and they've actually headed into this industry without really knowing what CPaaS or A2P is. I think a lot of us have actually faked it till we actually made it, because there is nothing called bachelors in CPaaS, right? Be your own cheerleader. Eventually, no one can do it better than you. One can always find supporters, as I said, but eventually it's you who knows your strengths. And I think that's where it's very important that at times maybe being a little shameless also. Sorry, I totally forgot that I've got the lions and the lionesses out here. At the cost of being shameless, maybe, be your own cheerleader, because it is you who knows your strengths and it is you who can project it best out there. Never burn bridges. This is something which I learned significantly when I moved out from my previous organization, Tata Communications, to where I am today, Tanla. Whatever I learned and whatever relationships I built in my previous organization, I see them today helping me where I am. So definitely, I feel that it's extremely important that never burn bridges. Make sure that you keep fostering those relationships. I, in fact, want to take a moment and thank ROCCO out here. Forget about the top 25. Forget about the 3 kilos trophy we're going to be getting tonight. I love the fact that this event actually got me a chance to interact with, I think, about 200 to 300 people in my network in the next couple of months. as in the last couple of months. So, I was having a chat with a lot of people. Hey, listen, there's this ROCCO thing. I'm standing for it. If you feel like, do put in a vote. I actually reached out to a humongous number of people within my network. And I was amazed at myself that, okay, there are so many people I know in the industry. So thank you so much for this opportunity. As I said, those accolades are great to have, but the side benefit is I actually managed to strengthen my network all over again. And just one final note, as I said that I've always felt like the awkward brown guy around with a lot of people who come from a different geography. What I observed over a period of time is that I tried to emulate some of them. When I would be in meetings with David from his Nexmo days, and I'd get a little worried that this guy talks about networks and MCCs and MNCs. He doesn't even say the network name, and I was like, wow, he really knows his stuff, Or when I'd interact with Joanna or Fabio, I always noticed that somewhere I was trying to emulate them. I was trying to fit in. And that's when I eventually realized that I have two options. Either I can be a very weak version of these wonderful people, or I can choose to be a very strong version of who I truly am. And on that note, I will end it with one last slide, which says that take pride in your journey. In the wise words of Tyrion Lannister of Game of Thrones, never forget what you are. The rest of the world will not. Wear it like an armor, and no one will ever be able to use it to hurt you. So on that note, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for your patience to hear a glimpse of my journey, and I hope we can all take away something positive from it. Thank you. Thank you, ROCCO.